Welcome back to our channel and our beautiful adopted home of St. Petersburg, Florida. In this video, we'll be showing you some more restaurants around downtown St. Pete, but this time we'll be keeping it cheap.
It is another beautiful day here in downtown St. Pete, and in this episode, we're going to be searching for the top cheap eat spots in and around the downtown area.
And if you're familiar with our channel, you'll know that we love going out to eat in and around downtown St. Pete. But if you're on a budget like us, then you may also know that finding reasonably priced options can be a challenge.
So over the course of this weekend, we're going to be checking out 5 different cheap eat spots.
And at each of these 5 spots, they'll have multiple entree options on their everyday menu for $9 or less.
And each spot, we're going to show you what we ordered and how much it cost us.
We'll also touch on how the service was and, of course, how the food tasted.
All right, let's go check out our first cheap eat spot in downtown St. Pete.
Our first stop on our search for cheap eats took us to western downtown St. Pete at the intersection of Central Avenue and 6th Street. Here you'll find the location of Bangkok Thai, which we visited for lunch. Upon entering Bangkok, we found the place to be nearly empty on a Saturday afternoon. This has been fairly common during lunch hours in our experience, although Bangkok does often get quite busy during the dinner hours. During this visit, we enjoyed looking at the Thai decor while we waited a couple of minutes to be seated. Once seated, we almost immediately received a spring roll and a bowl of soup, each of which come complimentary with every lunch visit. We both ordered off the lunch special menu, which is available every Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And within just minutes, our order of chicken Penang curry and beef pad see ew had arrived. As usual, Skylar was quick to add ground Thai chili pepper to his curry meal, while I was happy to enjoy my pad see ew with a little bit of spice it came with. We both enjoyed our meals at Bangkok, as we always do, and we both agreed that Bangkok will continue to be one of our go-to lunch spots.
So we just left Bangkok Thai in downtown St. Pete, and we'd have to say it is a hard-to-beat spot for lunch, especially for the price.
Yeah, our bill was around $17 before the tip, so that's around only $8.50 per meal.
And as usual, the portions were great as well. Each entree came with a spring roll and a bowl of soup, and we actually weren't even able to finish everything, so we'll be happy to have leftovers for later.
And I do want to mention the service. It took us only a couple minutes to get seated, and we were there around 1 p.m. on a Saturday. And within a minute of being seated, we had our water, our soup, and also our spring rolls.
Yeah, and we actually had our entrees within 10 minutes of being seated as well. So overall, we'd have to say that the service, the prices, and the food were excellent, and we definitely recommend Bangkok Thai for a lunch spot for cheap eats in downtown St. Pete.
Now next up is going to be one of our favorite dinner spots downtown, so come along with us to check out some more cheap eats.
Our Saturday dinner plans took us just a couple of blocks away to 536 First Avenue North, where you'll find Angelo's Pizza, Subs, and Spirits. Angelo's is a family-owned and operated restaurant which has been in business in downtown St. Pete since 2010. Once inside Angelo's, visitors will find a delightful mix of St. Pete and New York-inspired decor, along with 2 large open seating areas and a full bar. Visitors at Angelo's will also find a huge menu with Italian-inspired entrees, plus a wide variety of pizza, burgers, sandwiches, and bar food. After a few minutes looking over the menu, we ordered a gyro and a roast beef sandwich. Both items came out quickly and were huge, which is what we've grown accustomed to with Angelo's.
So big.
And at $9 a piece, both of our meals were right at our budget and came in under $20 before the tip.
We just left Angelo's, and that's been one of our go-to spots in St. Pete for a while now.
It has, and we love Angelo's because it has several great options for burgers, sandwiches, wraps, and even a gyro for $9 or less. And none of those options do come with sides, but that's fine because we've never left that place hungry.
No, we've not, and on our visit today, our roast beef sandwich and our gyro were both huge and great quality for the price.
And as far as the service goes, the waitress was quick to take our order, and we both had our meals in right around 10 minutes.
And we're also taking home leftovers again because that gyro was a monster.
It really was. So as far as the quantity and quality of the food, the service, and the price, we would definitely recommend Angelo's as a cheap dinner spot in downtown St. Pete.
But that's all that we've got for you today. We'll see you back tomorrow because we're gonna take you to a cheap spot for breakfast.
See you then.
Morning everyone, we are back in downtown St. Pete for another day of cheap eats.
We're gonna start this day off at a cheap breakfast spot that's just a couple blocks away from here. So we'll see you in a few.
Our Sunday breakfast spot took us to 530 Central Avenue, which is just 1 block straight south of Angelo's and less than half a block east of Bangkok Thai. Here you'll find Central Coffee Shop, a family-owned and operated diner that has been a downtown St. Pete staple since 1975. Open from 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. daily, Central Coffee Shop has a great old-fashioned diner feel while offering a variety of budget-friendly options for breakfast and lunch, and of course, coffee as well. During this visit, I went with my breakfast favorite, French toast, while Skylar had something new and got the pork chop breakfast with eggs, toast, and grits. As usual, the service was as friendly as it gets, and we had our breakfast orders in no time. My French toast was just as good as I remembered, while Skylar turned his platter into a pork chop, egg, and rye bread sandwich, which from judging by the looks of it, he enjoyed.
We just finished up a cheap but delicious breakfast at Central Coffee Shop.
Yeah, for only around $14, we were able to get 3 pieces of French toast, a pork chop, 2 eggs, 2 pieces of rye toast, and also a giant pile of grits.
And as has been the theme lately, we were not able to finish our meal, but we did come pretty close this time.
We did come close, and as far as the service, it was excellent. We were seated immediately and we had our meals within 10 minutes.
So if you are looking for a cheap but delicious spot for breakfast in downtown St. Pete, then Central Coffee Shop is definitely the spot for you.
Next, we're gonna head just a few blocks down the road for lunch, so we'll see you there.
Alright guys, change of plans. Lunchtime came around and we just didn't have appetites at all, so we decided to skip straight to dinner.
But don't worry, we're still gonna end up taking you to 5 different places. This just means that lunch is gonna have to wait until tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're really excited to take you to this next spot because unlike the first 3 places we went, we have never been here before.
So come and check it out with us.
Our Sunday night dinner plans took us just to the north of downtown St. Pete to the beautiful Old Northeast neighborhood. Located in a mostly residential area at the corner of 2nd Street and 2nd Avenue North, you'd probably never find this place if you weren't looking for it. In fact, we had a bit of trouble finding it even when we were looking for it, but we'll get to that later. Visitors to Old Northeast Pizza will find it to have the look and feel of an old-school pizza shop. And like many old pizza shops, they accept cash only and have no indoor seating. But fortunately, they do have a variety of reasonably priced food options, including calzones and stromboli, which we couldn't wait to try. The fresh-baked stromboli came loaded with 4 types of meat and mozzarella cheese, while the calzone came stuffed with ricotta cheese, mozzarella cheese, and bacon.
So our experience at Old Northeast Pizza started out a bit confusing, but ended up being pretty great.
Yeah, so we originally arrived at Old Northeast Tavern, and we were really confused that we couldn't find either of the menu items that we had planned on ordering on their menu.
But we soon found out that Old Northeast Pizza was right next door to Old Northeast Tavern, and they're under the same ownership.
And even better, they actually let you order your food at Old Northeast Pizza and will bring it over to you to eat at Old Northeast Tavern, which we found to have a really cool environment and also some really good beers on tap that we definitely took advantage of.
Now with the beers, that did put us over budget a little bit, but if we look at just our meals, those were both around $9.
And as far as the service goes, it did take a little bit longer to get our food, but at only around 15 minutes, it was definitely worth the wait for a fresh calzone and stromboli.
Now that does end our search for cheap eats in St. Pete for today, but we will be back tomorrow, so we'll see you then.
Hey guys, we are back and we're heading to our 5th and final spot for cheap eats around downtown St. Pete.
Now it took us just a little bit longer than anticipated, but we are excited to check out our last spot.
Yeah, and we've heard a lot of really good things about this place, but like Old Northeast Pizza, this will be our first time visiting.
So let's go check it out.
The final stop of our search for cheap eats took us to Papo's Taqueria, located at 1033 Central Avenue in the Edge District, just a short walk to the west from downtown St. Pete. Here we were happy to find Papo's menu to offer tacos, burritos, quesadillas, bowls, and salads. But we were even more impressed to see the wide variety of toppings which came at no extra charge. Our order of a big bowl and a burrito was ready in just a couple of minutes, and we enjoyed the St. Pete and taco-inspired art as we made our best attempt to finish the final meal in our search for cheap eats.
We just left Papo's and a storm is rolling in, so we are trying to make it home. But overall, it was an excellent first experience.
Yeah, the proteins were really tender and there was a great selection of sides which tasted really fresh.
Now the 2 items we ordered totaled around $18 before the tip, which is right around our budget of $9 per person.
Yeah, and we actually could have spent less by getting the normal size bowl, but when the big bowl is twice as big and only $2 more, you gotta get the big bowl.
And as far as the service goes, Papo's is an order at the counter, seat yourself kind of place. So within 10 minutes of arrival, we had our food.
Yeah, so overall, Papo's is a cheap, quick, and relatively healthy place, which makes us happy to recommend it as our 5th and final spot for cheap eats around downtown St. Pete.
Thanks so much for coming along with us on our search for cheap eats around downtown St. Pete. If you're interested in seeing more of St. Pete, the Gulf Beaches, or other Florida content, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn the notifications on. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching!